Before smartphones, before social media, before kids had their entire lives documented online, the 90s offered something unique. It was the sweet spot between analog and digital, where Saturday morning cartoons were sacred. Playing outside until streetlights came on was the norm, and the biggest decision you faced was which Lunchables to bring to school. In this video, we're diving deep into 90s nostalgia and asking the question, was the 1990s the last great American childhood? Saturday morning cartoons, a sacred ritual. If you grew up in the 90s, Saturday morning was everything. You'd wake up early, sometimes earlier than on school days, pour yourself a massive bowl of sugary cereal, and plant yourself in front of the TV. This was appointment television before streaming existed. Pokemon, Animaniacs, X-Men, the animated series, Batman, the animated series, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, Doug. The lineup was incredible. There was something magical about knowing millions of other kids across America were watching the same shows at the same time. You couldn't pause or rewind. If you missed an episode, you missed it until reruns came around. This created genuine excitement and anticipation. Monday morning playground conversations revolved around what happened on Saturday's episodes. Did anyone catch that new Dragon Ball Z episode? Did you see what happened on Power Rangers? These shared experiences created a collective childhood memory that today's kids, with their on-demand everything, simply don't have in the same way. The snack game was unmatched. 90s snacks hit differently, and we all know it. Dunkaroos were the ultimate lunch flex. Those kangaroo-shaped cookies with frosting you dip them in were pure childhood joy. Goosers would literally explode in your mouth with fruity liquid. Fruit by the foot could be stretched to ridiculous lengths during lunch trades. Lunchables made you feel like the coolest kid in the cafeteria, especially the pizza ones, where you'd assemble your own tiny pizzas. Capri Sun was the drink of choice, though stabbing the pouch with the straw was a legitimate skill you had to master. Squeeze-Its had those bottles shaped like cartoon characters. Surge was the extreme Mountain Dew competitor that made you feel dangerous. Warheads created a challenge culture. How long could you keep that super sour candy in your mouth? Bug Juice, Mondo, Ecto Cooler, these drinks are burnt into our memories. The snack aisle was an adventure, and new products dropped regularly. Companies took risks with wild flavors and crazy packaging. Compare that to today's health-conscious, organic, filtered everything approach to kids' snacks. The 90s didn't care about sugar content warnings. It was a glorious, cavity-inducing time to be alive. Toys that required imagination. 90s toys were different because they made you use your imagination. Tamagotchis taught us responsibility as we frantically kept our digital pets alive, checking them during class and mourning when they died from neglect. Pogs created an entire economy on playgrounds. Kids trading, battling, collecting rare slammers. Beanie Babies convinced our parents these were investments, creating a collecting frenzy that had people lining up at McDonald's for the teeny beanies. Super Soakers turned neighborhood water fights into tactical warfare. Skip It challenged your coordination. Moon Shoes promised to let you jump higher, but mostly promised twisted ankles. Easy Bake Ovens let you make tiny cakes with a light bulb. Creepy Crawlers let you make bugs with heated molds. Nerf guns were everywhere, leading to epic basement battles. Hot Wheels tracks got more elaborate each year. Polly Pocket worlds were miniature and magical. Furby was simultaneously adorable and terrifying. These toys weren't connected to apps or screens. They existed in physical space, requiring hands-on play and creativity. You built the story. You created the adventure. The glory days of Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. Nickelodeon in the 90s was operating at peak performance. All that was SNL for kids, launching careers and giving us Amanda Bynes, Kenan Thompson, and unforgettable sketches like Good Burger. Legends of the Hidden Temple combined game show excitement with temple exploration and that intimidating Olmec head. Guts made you wish you could compete on that aggro crag. Figure It Out had celebrities get slimed while guessing kids' talents. Double Dare was pure chaotic fun with physical challenges and slime everywhere. The Nickelodeon lineup included Rocko's Modern Life, Cat Dog, The Wild Thornberrys, Angry Beavers, and real monsters. Then Cartoon Network emerged with Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Ed, Ed and Eddie, and Courage the Cowardly Dog. These cartoons had edge, weird humor, and weren't afraid to be bizarre. They treated kids intelligently, including jokes and references that worked on multiple levels. Watching these channels created a shared cultural language. Everyone knew the Nickelodeon Splat logo, the orange couch, and could sing the theme songs by heart. The golden age of video games. The 90s represented video gaming's adolescence, past the simple arcade era, but before games became hyper-realistic cinematic experiences. Nintendo 64 brought us GoldenEye 007 four-player split-screen battles that defined sleepovers, Super Mario 64, which revolutionized 3D gaming, Mario Kart 64 Friendship's Destroyer, and Super Smash Bros., which created a competitive scene that still thrives today. PlayStation launched with Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Final Fantasy VII, and Metal Gear Solid. Game Boy with Pokemon Red and Blue created a phenomenon. Everyone had a Game Boy, everyone was catching Pokemon, everyone was trading link cables at lunch. The games were challenging. You couldn't just Google solutions instantly. You either figured it out, called the Nintendo Power Hotline, bought a strategy guide magazine, or asked that one kid at school who mysteriously knew everything. Gaming was social. You physically went to friends' houses to play together. LAN parties for PC gaming, hauling your console to a sleepover. When the internet was new and innocent. If you used the internet in the 90s, you remember the distinct sound of dial-up connecting, that screeching, buzzing noise that meant someone couldn't use the phone for the next hour. The internet was a novelty, something you went on rather than constantly existing within. AOL Instant Messenger was revolutionary. Away messages became an art form, buddy lists organized your social hierarchy, and that door-opening sound when someone signed on created genuine excitement. You'd spend hours crafting the perfect profile. Chat rooms were weird and wonderful. GeoCities let you build terrible websites with too many GIFs, clashing colors, and MIDI music. Ask Jeeves was how you searched before Google dominated. Napster changed music forever, though it destroyed your computer with viruses. You'd download a single song over 30 minutes and hope it was actually the song you wanted. The internet felt like a frontier, exciting, unregulated, slightly dangerous. Parents didn't really understand it. You could reinvent yourself online. But crucially, the internet was something you engaged with for limited periods, not an all-consuming presence defining every moment of your life. You could still disconnect and just exist in the physical world. The freedom to just be kids. Perhaps the most significant difference between 90s childhood and today, freedom. Kids in the 90s had independence that seems almost irresponsible by today's standards. You'd leave the house in the morning during summer and your parents' only instruction was, be home when the streetlights come on. No cell phones meant your parents couldn't track you. You'd ride bikes to friends' houses across the neighborhood or town. You'd walk to the corner store with a few dollars to buy candy. You'd build forts in the woods, play in creeks, create elaborate backyard games that lasted hours. The lack of constant communication meant you had to problem solve independently. If plans changed, you figured it out. If you got in trouble, you handled it. This created resilience and independence. Compare that to today's helicopter parenting, where kids' locations are tracked via phone, every playdate is scheduled and supervised, and letting a 10-year-old walk to the store alone could result in a CPS visit. The 90s trusted kids to navigate the world, creating a sense of adventure and self-reliance that's increasingly rare. Was it perfect? No. Were there dangers? Sure. But the freedom to roam, explore, and make mistakes without constant adult oversight created a different kind of childhood. One that felt expansive and full of possibility. Pop culture that united everyone. The 90s had massive, universal pop culture moments because entertainment wasn't fragmented yet. Boy bands ruled, and sync versus Backstreet Boys debates were serious business. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Destiny's Child dominated. TRL, Total Request Live, on MTV was appointment television. Everyone watched the same shows. Friends, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World, creating shared references everyone understood. Movies like The Lion King, Space Jam, The Sandlot, Jurassic Park, Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Toy Story were events that entire generations experienced together. You couldn't Netflix and chill because Netflix didn't exist. You went to Blockbuster on Friday nights, hoping the new release you wanted wasn't already rented out. This shared cultural experience meant everyone at school had watched the same things, listened to the same music, and could bond over common references. Today's fragmented media landscape means kids can grow up on completely different content, creating less cohesion and shared cultural memory. Technology as helper, not master. The 90s represented the last moment when technology enhanced childhood without dominating it. CD players and Walkmans made music portable but not all-consuming. You made mixtapes for crushes, carefully selecting and ordering songs. Disposable cameras meant you took 24 or 27 pictures per event, chose carefully what to photograph, and waited days for development, making each photo special. VHS tapes had to be rewound, and recording shows required setting timers and hoping you got it right. Technology existed to serve specific purposes, not to provide constant entertainment and connection. Kids weren't staring at screens all day because screens weren't portable. You watched TV at home, played computer games at a desk, and the rest of life happened offline. Boredom was common, and that boredom sparked creativity. Building things, creating games, imagining scenarios. Today's kids never experience boredom because stimulation is always one tap away. The 90s had enough technology to be exciting, but not so much that it replaced physical activity, face-to-face interaction, and unstructured play. That balance created a childhood that felt both modern and grounded in traditional play patterns. Why it feels like the last great childhood. Looking back, the 90s feels like the last great American childhood because it existed in a unique window of time. It was post-Cold War optimism. The economy was booming, America felt invincible, and that security trickled down to childhood. There were dangers and problems, absolutely, but the general cultural mood was hopeful and relaxed. Kids had freedom, but also community. Technology existed but didn't dominate. Entertainment was high quality and universally shared. Snacks were questionable, but delicious. Toys required imagination. The internet was exciting, but limited. Most importantly, childhood felt like childhood, a distinct period of life with its own rules, freedoms, and experiences separate from adult world. Conclusion. Was the 1990s truly the last great American childhood? Maybe that's nostalgia talking. Every generation thinks their childhood was special, but there's something undeniable about the 90s experience. The perfect storm of freedom, technology that helped without consuming, shared cultural experiences, and a sense of possibility that feels increasingly rare. Those Saturday morning cartoons, those questionable snacks, those toys that sparked imagination, that freedom to roam. They created memories that still resonate decades later. What's your favorite 90s childhood memory? Did you have the best Lunchables trades? Were you a Pokemon master? Did you dominate at GoldenEye? Drop your 90s nostalgia in the comments below. If this video took you back to the 90s in the best way, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more nostalgia, deep dives, pop culture analysis, and trips down memory lane. Thanks for watching, and remember, the 90s may be over, but the memories are forever. See you in the next video.